Hello guys, welcome to the PiG Daily, episode number 98. Today we have another Pros Talk episode with Elazer talking about his series versus Showtime at Blizzcon. Hey Elazer, how's it going, man?
Hey, good to be here. I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, mate. And awesome. So let's dive straight on into game. Let's not dilly-dally. And let's hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
One faster, right?
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Sweet as, man. All right, so this was a pretty big set for you, of course. This was the round of 8, the quarterfinals of BlizzCon. Played some tough CvZ matches before it, but you were crazy confident in ZvP in this tournament, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I think ZvP was just straight up, I was solid in this matchup. That was my best matchup. And ZvZ, I was just, I think, I don't know. I just have a couple good strategies in ZvZ. I think I'm feeling the matchup better than other players. So, yeah, I somehow managed to win them. But in ZvP, I just feel solid.
Awesome. And I guess while we go through the early game here of Frozen Temple, you're going to be doing a lot of Ling Bane play. Ravages whenever you're not up against Stargate units added in. Really solid play style. Something we had Snoot talk a little bit about last week as well. But yeah, I mean, it seems like something where not that much has changed, right? Especially since they got rid of the +1 Hydra range. Do you feel like this style is still completely solid?
I mean, the Bane Link Ravager, or?
Yeah, like Ling Bane based. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's still viable, totally. Like when they added the +1 range Hydras, for a moment I thought maybe like mass Hydra Bane is stronger, but now they nerfed it, so it's again like Ravager Link Bane is the best, I think.
And not that much has changed, right? I mean, your Banelings are a little bit buffer now, better at absorbing storms and shots.
So, yeah, that helps a lot. But Protoss players changed their playstyle a bit, so they don't play like Immortal Zealot anymore. They play Stalker-based compositions. So, like, it's a bit harder right now. But it's still doable with this composition. I think it's just the best. There's no other compositions for Zerg right now.
Okay, awesome. It's I mean, it's something everyone's using. So cool, let's talk about your opening here. Now this is an opening you really love, opening up with a fast gas pool into the 18 hatch. So this is like 17 gas, 17 pool, 18 hatch, yeah?
Yeah, something like this. Yeah.
And why do you prefer this so much?
So how I think about this is just I'm always getting annoyed by the pylon block. So on some maps, for example, right now I can get 16 hatch, so one before the 17, and it's fine. So I just go hatch first. But on some maps, it's just impossible to hatch first on your natural. But that's why I just go 17-70, so they cannot block my natural. And that's like the main reason, because I'm just getting so annoyed by this.
Counter the pylon block.
Obviously, like it's just very strong opening. Like you get fast speed. You don't get annoyed by like two gate adept, proxy gates. Like you're just super safe in early game, and I feel confident in the macro. So
it's super strong.
Even if I get behind, after early game, I know I can get back to the game.
And it is just so safe, right? For some guys who always try to open up hatch first, play a bit greedier, maybe skip Overlord speed, it's always interesting to watch you play because you get Overlord speed pretty much every single ZvP, right? You open up with this gas pool almost all the time as well. So some people would be like, oh, doesn't this put you really far behind? But I guess you're just confident that you're always going to see what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't put you that far behind. Like, really, it's really similar to hatch first, because with hatch first you will lose one drone to maybe adept pressure, then the oracle will come to kill 2 drones, and like you're pretty much even.
Yeah. So with this, you feel like the overlord speed, it always hits early enough, right? That you're going to be able to spot
first. Yeah.
Do you pull one guy off gas?
With first you can go. No, I don't. Maybe for a couple seconds, like, but not really. But like with hatch first, you can also go for overlord speed, but it hits maybe 10 seconds later. So, it's sometimes hard with like hatch first. You won't fight Stargate immediately, and you'll get damage. Like you will lose some drones to it. But with this, like 17-17, you get it early enough so you can scout like everything. You will never get surprised. So that's the difference.
All right, so here you're dealing with an adept pressure. I noticed you opened up with a really fast melee upgrade, being super Ling Bane focused.
Yeah.
Let's
The
talk.
melee upgrade isn't needed, but like it's quite good later on.
And is this kind of like just like what you normally try to defend with? About 4 or 5 Banelings at most, about
Mm,
20
yeah,
Zerglings against the first
this
adept
pressure
pressure.
exactly. Yeah, maybe 3 Banes or 4. But I think 2 Banes is not enough. If they like start massing adepts, then like you need at least 3 or 4 Banelings.
Now there was a point in the meta where I remember Neeb would often just he'd keep warping in adepts off the 3 gateways,
Yeah.
and he just wouldn't commit, and he'd keep poking in and out, and Ling Bane players kept just dying to it and getting overwhelmed. What do you do differently that stops that happening to you?
I make a lot of queens. So you can see I have already 3 in the front. So if I see them keep making adepts, I don't know, make some more links, maybe 6 Banings, make a 4th queen, and it's fine usually.
Adds
And
that
I think
extra.
I'm quite good at splitting Zerglings to like my bases. So if he starts splitting his adepts, I'm fine with this.
Nice. All right, so from here, it's very much like a macro build-up, right? You're just kind of droning up really hard. You start, you go up to 3 gases. You drop a very fast 4th base because you're very, Ling Bane focused. Talk us through your build order from here.
Mm, oh my god, I don't remember. So I think I will get a macro hatch. Just try to get Ravagers. Maybe like when my Roar Torrent is done, I want maybe 8 roaches, so I'm safe against all pressures. And like if I see him move out, I just morph Ravagers. And then you can like when Lairs is finished, you can add Spire. If you want like Snoot does Spire, I think you can get Infestation Pit for Swarm Host on some maps. There's a lot of variations you can go for.
All right, let's
Yeah,
go back a little bit
I'm
actually, because I just missed a little maneuver there. So let's go back and sync up again at 6 minutes.
okay. 6. Okay.
So tell me when you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. So this is a really cool empty Overlord drop on the right while your Banelings try to run in the 3rd base. Is this something you just thought you'd mix in here? Is this something you're doing a lot at this point?
Yeah, there's like a lot of things you can do. You can go with full Overlord. You can maybe run by from the like middle, from the main ramp in the middle. So like you can always surprise your opponent. It's not like I'm gonna do this one game and then the second game he will know where it comes from. Like there's so many angles you can hit. Like Protoss will be always surprised. So
That's actually really smart. I remember talking to some Protoss players and they're talking about, playing dark and that sort of stuff. And they're saying, well, yeah, you've got to just have Stalkers in your main base, right? To stop these Baneling drops that are always going to come in. But I love here
yeah,
we saw, Showtime so prepared with 3 Stalkers in the main, and you're like, well, actually, this is just an empty Overlord. It's coming from a different angle. Banelings try to walk in the front, and it's not like this costs you much money. And wasting that mining time, I think that was like easily worth
yeah,
it.
for sure. This was good. This was good for sure. Yeah, this Warp Prism does some damage. That's why you want Spire, for example, so what Snoot does to just prevent this. But yeah, I skipped it. I think Spire is sometimes risky. Like if Protoss goes for maybe Blink Stalker timing with fake 3rd base, it's quite hard to defend it.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive, right? And the thing is, because you were able to get so many hit points off that Warp Prism here with that high Queen count, like it really slows down his ability to be annoying with these
Yeah, the
adepts, right?
queens I made in the middle game where I tried to defend against them. They help a lot later against War Prism, against like small adept run bys, stuff like this.
Nice.
Yeah, now I morph. I think I'm not sure why I morphed those Ravagers. Maybe to snipe the War Prism to try. Like I don't remember.
So normally you just hold off on morphing the Ravagers until it's like right before the fight happens,
Yeah. For example, now I morphed them. I tried some pressure. It's like attacks like this doesn't really work, but in tournament, Protoss always make some mistakes, so I feel like I can force some mistakes with push like this.
Okay, cool. So behind this, it's 5 gases. You've got like 10 drones on your fourth because you've transitioned some workers out of your main. So this is kind of your sweet spot, right? Where you are really looking for engagements. Like you don't very often go hive tech from here.
I mean, like in practice, you don't really go for this timing because Protoss will just force fill you out and you will lose all your army. But like in tournament, Protoss players usually like everybody plays way worse, and I'm just fishing for mistakes right now.
Yeah. So, you know, him not having the unit in the wall did allow you to get in here, but you don't actually kill any...
This is exactly the mistake I was looking for, but still he vended quite well.
The big thing is, though, because you keep... I feel like this was actually the key moment where Showtime lost this game, though, even though you didn't kill many probes. Like, you literally only killed probes on the 3rd base. Do you think it's fair, because he doesn't get a 4th base for so long now, because he's so busy dealing with this? And then I think you denying his 4th base was like the most important part of this game.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So
yeah, like this is the thing you need to do with the style. Just always deny the 4th base. If Protoss gets the 4th base, you might get in some trouble. But as long as you just deny it all the time, you will always trade well, pretty much.
Yeah. So
also, I think I don't have enough drones right now. I have only 65. I should have my 4th base fully like saturated, at least on minerals.
Okay, cool. So that's like a good marker for any Zergs watching at home. Kind of once you get down to about
like 70 drones.
8 workers in the main, 5 gas geysers, or actually you've taken a 6th gas geyser this game. Is that something? I guess you are getting an infestation pit and heading towards hive. If you were just staying on Ling Bane, would you just stay on 5 gases if it was just tier 1 units?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
5 or even 4 gases. If you just stay on Ling Bane, Ravager, 5 hatchery, then yeah, maybe 4 or 5 gases is fine.
And then
if you try to tech, maybe 50 gas. If you start getting hive, you need 6 gas. I think this is how it works.
Nice. So at this point, you are adding hive, but it's still a long way off. So you probably want to trade before hive. What are your thoughts? Are you just going to wait for broodlords? Do you just want to engage on creep? You know you've denied his 4th for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I think you just need to try deny the mining, just harass, and get broodlords. This is what I'm going for right now. Because I know Protoss cannot really break me. I mean, not with this army composition that he has. Like right now, for example, the meta changed, so they go for Stalkers, and it kinda can break me, but with this composition they couldn't really do anything, so I'm just safe. Like, let's just max out on Ling Bane and let's wait for broodlords.
And it's like, specifically, I guess, because those chargelots just can't help in the main fight, right? Because you always keep some banelings alive in reserve, so the chargelots can never really engage. So it's all about like, okay, as long as you have banelings left over, once the Archons are gone, like, he can't really push through you.
Yeah, exactly. So this composition is, for example, very good versus lurker timings, versus all like lurker compositions, but yeah, it's not very good versus the Ling Bane. And I think they were scared to play Stalkers because of the lurkers, but today they just have way better timing attacks, and so the lurkers don't really work, I think. So they just go like Stalkers every game, and he's very strong.
It's interesting because the Stalkers do so little damage to the Zerglings, but they just, you know, they're so much stronger versus the Banelings.
Yeah,
they're so much more
like force fields. Yeah, so this is something like we could see, like even when Dark is playing versus good Protoss, you just try to like send some banings first to soak up the shields, and yeah, the army is just getting quite weak after a couple waves of banings, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting now how you do go in waves. So let's take a look at that fight one more
if
time.
if you just move with your army, you will lose 100%. There's no chance for Zerg. But this is quite key. Like, you need to send in waves.
So let's go to about 11 minutes 45, I think, and let's sync up there. And we'll watch that on a slower game speed. We'll put it on the slowest one. So tell me when you're at 11:45.
I'm here.
Okay, put it down to normal speed, the slow one.
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, so I noticed you're moving your Ravagers forward at the front, and you're trying to kind of, you know, use Corrosive Biles, use their range. And then, do you just box a bunch of Ling Bane and kind of roll them in? Or do you use hotkeys? How do you do this?
I think, box. Just box. Usually you want to like get the immortal barrier up, but he pulled them back, so that's pretty good for him.
And then you start re-engaging again there.
Maybe this is not the best fight. I should still wait, but yeah, I guess it's good enough.
So
Like this is not cleanest fight for sure, but this is about how you want to do it.
So what are the most important things in this sort of engagement? Is it just trying to always send the banelings in a few at a time, like about 15 banelings at a time? You're just trying to... what's the idea there? Is it just to drag out the engagement?
Yeah, so you pretty much like Protoss has to make the move. Like he needs to move in with big army, and then when he clamps up, you send banelings in and deal big damage. Then when he pulls back, you just pull back. You like when Broodlords are out, you win. So you try to buy time, and at some point, Protoss needs to move into your banelings.
And as soon as he gets on creep, as soon as he's moving in, I guess you're just going to get a much more efficient engagement than if you jump the gun and go and engage off creep, right?
Yeah, well, when you're like maxed out versus 140 supply Protoss, then you can just attack into him. But when it's maxed out versus maxed out, you just need to wait for builders. You cannot fight anymore.
And I mean, he was reasonably close to breaking you, right? Like, yes, you've got 84 Zerglings in production, but if he has 3 more Archons left or something, it's very scary, right?
Yeah. But my engagement wasn't the best. His engagement wasn't the best, so it could go either way. I think today we both play way better than we played on Blizzcon.
All right, so
there were a lot of mistakes, I think.
no worries. Let's sync up at 13 minutes. So let me know when you're there, and I'll just put this back on your camera, and I'll start asking some questions that are popping up.
And we're doing faster again.
Oh, actually, not 13 minutes. Sorry, 12 minutes. 12 minutes 40, I guess. 12 minutes 45, something like that.
Okay.
And we'll do faster again. Yeah. So tell me when you're at 12:45.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, play. All right. Now, he does push out here with his army, and he comes really deep with his small army again. Do you think this was a big mistake from him?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I'm not sure what he could think. Like, he knows I'm getting Broodlords soon, so maybe, like, this was just desperate. He was desperate to attack.
Okay, fair enough. So a couple questions from chat while we look through this next stage. B Muffin says, oh no, sorry, Triple Helix says, wouldn't it be safer to get Hydra Lurker first?
Yeah, not really. Not versus composition, you're just losing macro, I think.
Because like charge.counterattacks can hit you, just the bigger mortal charge.archon engage on your Hydra Lurker is very scary as well,
especially made for lurkers, as I say. Like, Link Bane is just super imbalanced versus this, that's why they stopped playing it. But lurkers are not good, I think.
We have a great question from Nurtio as well. He says, why does Elazer gamble so much?
I don't gamble.
We've got another question from CDR Lame. He says, question for Elazer. How does it feel to finally be the best Zerg in Poland? Feels good, man.
Yeah, man. Feels good. I think me and Nurture are quite even right now. Maybe I'm not best yet, but yeah, we're quite even.
Nice. Okay, cool. Alright, so at this point in the game, I was looking at it and I was like, I think for you as an experienced player, I think it's quite straightforward from here. But for people watching, maybe not necessarily so much. I mean, the supply is still not so different, right?
From here, it's actually not straightforward. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Like positioning, I played so many situations from this where I just try to attack into the fourth base of Protoss, and Protoss goes into left side and goes for the base trade, and you pretty much always lose as Zerg because Protoss gets Tempest and his army is way stronger. So, like here, this was a very good move. I think I did maybe the best in the whole game, just to set this big army on the left side to never let the counterattack come.
You were really patient here, yeah. I was really impressed when I was watching it live, because I thought, like, you know, he's
Yeah,
trying to bait you into that base trade or into like a position where
like,
you push with this little shitty ball of broodlords, right?
I think this is the point where like this is the situation I'm the most proud of, like from the whole series. Just to like wait here, like I know I can win in macro, just not let the base trade come. That's all like I'm waiting for.
And I guess you're not, you know you've got the time, right? Because your game sense knows how late his fourth base was, so you know he can't really afford Tempests after losing his whole army before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you see Stalkers, that means if he doesn't go Tempest. Like if he has Stalkers, he tries to counter Broodlords with Stalkers, not with Tempest.
Yeah. So that's something where, you know, for me, when I used to go Broodlords, I'd always be like, I've got to attack right now, no matter how bad the Protoss' economy is or what they were doing. And, you know, I'd attack in, and Stalkers would come in from 3 sides, this big Archon concave, and they would overwhelm it. So you're super patient here, and you actually split the Broodlords. Was this scary to kind of split your Broodlord army in half?
Yeah. But I think this was the good move to do it. Like, because I know he cannot break this. My army on the left side, on the right side is. Yeah, I mean, I think this was a good move. It was quite scary though.
It's hard to make that call, but it really was perfect because you saw how deep his army was on the left-hand side, and then as soon as he retreated,
scouting on the left side is a big problem for me. Like I don't know anything. I think the counterattack might still come.
yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, now I have a Baning on the left side, so I see there's like no counterattack coming, and I immediately like come back, so the counterattack doesn't come again.
Yeah. So this was actually really good because you want to put the herd on, you do want to slow down Protoss. Eventually Tempests get out and they do counter the army. Of course, in this case it's Stalkers, but you still want to just use your army while you've got that advantage, while he doesn't have a lot of Blink Stalkers or anything. And now that you've killed that base, you are pushing in even deeper here. What are your thoughts at this point? You just want to keep choking him out? You want to keep trying to find a good engagement?
This might be a mistake. Like my army isn't together. Like if his army was right now under my Broodlords at his natural base, then I might lose the game. But yeah, I don't know. Like my plan was just to not let the counterattack come and let's take a fight at his base.
All right.
Because I want to fight his army, but if I try to attack his base, he will go for the base trade.
Yeah.
So like I needed to somehow bait his army to go back and then take a fight there.
Your Broodlords do manage to rejoin on the left-hand side just in time.
Yes. This was perfect. This was perfect. But if he came 10 seconds earlier, I might have lost the game. I was quite scared here.
You timed it out perfectly in the end there, so it actually worked out really well. The flying
I think this was
moustaches.
quite lucky, but I could have played quite better. This, like if I had the scouting on the left side, I would know better when to move out.
Yeah, that big moment where you weren't sure exactly where his army was. Okay, that's really cool. It's so hard to keep that, right? Because you need to basically just keep sending Zerglings down there to kind of die into his army to check where it is, right? And and that can be really hard to keep up with in the pace of everything else that's going on.
I left the replay, by the way.
That's okay. That's okay. You can check the stream if you want. I'm just going to stay in the replay for another minute while I just kind of check some stuff. Question for you. So, I'm not sure what map this was, but Peppy please said, what was the reason behind the 5th base being on the left center as opposed to the top right? So I don't think that's this map. That must be a different map.
I mean, maybe I think maybe he cancelled it because the first 5th base maybe was on the left side.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom through the replay and check if that's.
Can you try? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh yeah, it was.
I don't know. They both have their like weaknesses and strong points. I think. Like when you put it on the left side, I don't know. Like I'm not sure. If you put it on the right side, you're vulnerable to this like base trades. This is the exact scenario like we're talking about.
Yep.
Like I'm not sure. And if you put it on the right side, he'll just have all this army always in good spot. I think. I'm not sure. They are both pretty much the same in my opinion. Yeah.
I kind of get what you're saying, like, and I agree. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, well, you can have it next to where the fighting is, so it's like near where your army is, but then it's so easy for them to push. if it's in this top right corner, right? Like it's very close to them.
Uh.
So it's very exposed. But this other one, the problem there, even though it's harder for them to push towards, you're suddenly defending two opposite sides of the map. So it's very hard to like have your army kind of covering both sides
Yeah,
at the
but
same time. But it's harder for them
Yeah,
to
I
push
mean,
as well.
we saw the weakness of it. Like he destroyed it immediately after I put it down.
Yep.
So that's a good point. Like maybe the top right base is better.
Yeah, it's a little bit
But
more
I think
hidden there as well, I guess.
strategically, if he didn't destroy that, I think the left one is better. Just because you can like move to the left, to the right, and like the counterattacks of yours are better. And
Especially,
if you put it only to the right, like you need to stay on the right side, I think.
yeah. It kind of depends where the fighting's happening as well, right? Like, because there was so much fighting on the north side of this map, around when he was trying to push into your fourth, it made sense that you tried to take the fifth away from where the fighting was, and you tried to take it multiple times down there before you finally gave up and went and took the top right-hand side. And that makes sense because you were fighting up here, I guess. After you pushed him back, I think the second time you took the fifth base, maybe we could argue that you should have taken it in the top right instead, as it does just get killed again instantly. But either way, you've still got a lot of mining. Cool. Okay, so that was about this map. That is a good question. Thank you, Peppy, for that one. So, a question which is kind of quite general, but to do with this sort of game. Patzler says, Game 1, Frozen Temple. How does this Lingbane Ravager macro go these days at the highest level? It seems like Protoss players often don't get chargelets after the Archon drop. Okay, we kind of already talked about this. Instead, they often go for Blink Stalkers with their Archons. Though in your game from Shoutcraft December, Zest got chargelets, but then he kind of played passively with his army. So, yeah.
Yeah, so like the game versus Zest, it was. I mean, Daybreak is quite imbalanced. I think, yeah, like towards Protoss. That was his first map pick, and I think you cannot really win against Protoss. It's just super hard on this map. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to even say. Like, I don't know what you can do on this map.
Very front-on map, isn't it? It's like very direct and focused in
Like you
one
cannot attack into Protoss, and Protoss will just get army that like Zerg cannot beat. So, and the War Prism is very strong on this map. So there's not much I can say on this map. But overall, like today, the Protoss player usually play Stalker-based compositions, and like you can say maybe Lingbane isn't the best versus it, but what else can you do? Because Hydras will usually lose to timing attack with like Stalkers. So like you don't have options. Like you need to go for Lingbane Ravager.
Yep. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's move on to the next game then. And we will be going on to Sejong Station, so we can look at some cute Swarm Host action. One of the cuter games there. Question from B Muffin while we're talking about it. We kind of already touched on that, but just how big do you think is the Baneling buff? And do you think it makes the Banelings a lot better only versus Storm, or does it help in regular situations as well?
Okay, it helps. Obviously, it helps versus everything, but I thought it's gonna be bigger, but the playstyle changed, so it doesn't really help that much versus Stalkers, I think.
Are people getting Storm with the Stalker composition, or is it mainly like pushes with a few Archons that are killing you?
I mean, I think they could add Storm. No, why not? But they don't. So, but for example, they don't die to one shot from Archons, and in the past they did, I think. So this is very big. Also, cannons or like overcharge doesn't kill them one shot anymore, I think. Yep. So this is also quite big.
Actually, I'm not sure if Overcharge one-shot them before, because I think it did 30 damage. I'm not sure.
I think they did.
Oh, yeah, it did, because unless you got Carapace upgrade. If you had +1 Carapace, they wouldn't one-shot you. But nowadays, they'll never one-shot you.
I never added +1 Carapace.
Yeah, most players
because you always told me, oh, if I knew, I would.
Just for Overcharge?
Yeah, of course.
Those Baneling run buys, man. All right, Sick Life.